right, so we are live. Good morning and welcome to the 2024 to 2028 Mosquito, Termite, and Rodent Control Board Capital Improvement Plan hearing. City Planning with the administration hosts these meetings at the beginning stages of the capital planning, budget planning process every year, where we ask the agencies to discuss and describe the capital requests that they have for the upcoming 5 years. We'll ask the agency to give a brief description of each of the requests and how they fit within their overall work program and their vision for their facilities upgrades and maintenance over the next 5 years. Go around the table for introductions. I'm Larry Massey, Deputy Director of City Planning.
Vince Smith, Director of Capital Projects.
Claudia Regal, Director of City of New Orleans Mosquito, Termite, and Rodent Control Board.
Jacob Rowland, Project Manager with Capital Projects Administration.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks everyone for watching and listening to our request. So just for a little bit of background for everybody, we are the City of New Orleans Mosquito and Termite Control Board. So we're the folks that do the mosquito abatement, rodent abatement throughout New Orleans. We also do a lot of government, City of New Orleans pest control. And so we, trying to protect everybody from any kind of vector-borne disease. So that's kind of our mission. And so our requests, we have 3 requests this year. The first one is just some supplemental money actually to add to a current hazard mitigation project that is going on. Actually, that project is out to bid this moment.
It's Tuesday.
Yep, it's on Tuesday. We have actually some contractors looking at the roof. And so this particular project is to harden the roof. It's going to be a roof replacement so that it can, higher wind loads and really strengthen that building. That facility right now, just for those that don't know, it's at 2100 Leon C. Simon. And we actually already have a full building generator on that. It's already elevated off the ground, so it's a great facility with a lot of steps already for mitigation. So the weak spot on it is going to be the roof. And once that roof is done, I think, maybe only a tornado would actually damage that building. So I think with that, and it's great because it's sort of at that northern side of the building. A great example, after Hurricane Ida, we didn't miss a step because we had the generator, everything was fine. So unfortunately, with I think cost of inflation and all of that, some of the costs for this particular project has gone up. So really, in order to have the funds to do the completion of the work, we're asking for $210,000 to be added to that project to get it finished. And of course, you'll know once the final bids come in, what that value is going to be. So
Does this represent a contingency?
It's a little of both. So we did do this project to design. We had some items with the balancing of the air system that we weren't able to completely address. We're addressing obviously the roof over,
right.
And we're replacing some pieces of ductwork and some drywall that so the roof was failing and allowing moisture in the building. They had mold built up. There's all kinds of ceiling tiles that need to be replaced. So we had to take a step back on that project and get it within budget. Now, as you know, we did bid this a couple months ago, and we got one bid that was within budget, but even that was right against the wall. So we're expecting on the rebid that now that number is on the street, we're going to see higher numbers come in on Tuesday. And, again, hopefully we get a bid we can accept, but regardless, it's going to be right at our budget. So yes, this represents contingency, adding in some of the items, including the windscreens that are part of the hardening of the building that we had to eliminate. So it's just basically to create that holistic project that we had from the beginning.
What's is this funded with FEMA money?
It's part HMGP, and then we have it's 75-25. But we've actually got more bonds now in the project with HMGP. But yeah, it's both. It's bonds and HMGP.
Okay.
And we would anticipate, right, Jacob, that this is going to be done probably mid next year of some sort.
Our contract time is only 180 days.
Yes. So
So it's gonna move quick, once we're able to get the contract in. It's a roof over, so minor correction, so
Okay.
we're not removing or
Oh, that's
replacing
good
the
to hear.
roof, we're roofing over, keeping all the safety penetrations.
It's gonna be great. I love that. And really, with this, I mean, that building is gonna be a fortress, to be honest. So I think would be great. Our second project, that we're requesting is to have perimeter fencing around, our warehouse building, and that's located at 5744 Payne Boulevard. So we have separate buildings, and it's just the way it was. You know, at one point we were all on the lakefront, but we can't rebuild there. It's not our property. You can't do any hazard mitigation. It's in a B zone. So our warehouse has a fence that's not great, and we're really actually not even perimeter fencing is what we need. We actually just need an L shape. We've got a series 4 buildings in a complex, and the buildings, part of the buildings are on the property line, so that is our fencing as well. And then there's a wall, like an actually hollow block wall between the properties in the back, and then the last other side, I guess, is be like the west side, the building again, and the wall that's already there. So what we're looking at is coming out from one of the first buildings and just shooting across. And the reason we have that, the fence right now is really in terrible condition, but we really need to increase security at that particular site, as well as sort of be in compliance, right, with the Louisiana Department of Ag and Forestry. So if you have pesticides, things like that, you have to always have a continuous gate that's closed. And so we definitely want to have something that's tall, right, to prevent anyone from coming in, but also that would open and close. That'll help security, that'll help a lot of things. We've actually had a lot of break-ins at the facility. We've had probably 10 or so catalytic converters being taken. Last year, we used our funds and installed 2 crime cameras at the location. That's actually helped a lot. And it has a perimeter. So if it goes off, then I get a notification to look at the photos, and it sends an email.
What's the address again?
5744 Hayne Boulevard. So that's I think a pretty straightforward project. It's really, it has to be a heavy duty fence, tall, with automatic gates, probably 2, right? One on one side and one on the other, so people will do a loop in, loop out. But that should be pretty straightforward. And again, I mean, work with Jacob on trying to get the estimated cost. I think he gives $120 a foot or something like that for fencing at that site.
Yeah.
So does this include like the card entry or?
Yeah, it would, and that's really where it needs to go. Right at that corner as well, there's some commercial properties, and oftentimes at night, people park in front of our gates. We've been locked in before. So having that fence in this sort of coming out, encompassing our little parking lot area and across is also going to help mitigate some of the issues that we've had with that. All right, the third project we're looking at is still at that same facility as our warehouse, which at 5744 Hayne Boulevard. And we'd like to do a similar project as we are doing with the administration building, is hardening that facility. So, over the course of time, we're trying to build the infrastructure, because as soon as some kind of storm or emergency hits, especially hurricanes, things like that, mosquito control is absolutely critical. It is a Category B approved activity, for emergency response. And our folks need to get out there and start working to do applications, treatments, all that kind of stuff. So the roof is not, it's 4 little buildings, right? The roofs are not in great condition. And so really strengthening the roof and some of the properties of those buildings are going to allow us to continue to, avoid some damage. What is new from last year to this year is we have a pretty big generator out there. And we've been able to get it serviced thanks to property management with actually minimal work to it. And so now we have I forget what size it is, but it's big. And it'll definitely be able to power up the building. So we're going to be looking at how do you connect that big generator is connected to one building, how do you connect it to the others so that if there's a storm or a need or whatever it is, we can keep working, right away. Okay, so that's a big deal, and I think that's a great thing. I did, for this particular project, I did talk to Austin about seeing if there's any hazard mitigation money that we could write a grant for, and he thinks there is.
Okay.
So that's on the docket, like we're here to try to do our part. And so I actually just talked to him last week. I don't know what day today is. Today is Friday? Maybe it was Monday? I don't know, meeting. I think it was Monday or maybe it was last Friday. So he's got some ideas of what we could do on that, and I'll be, after next week, I'll be approaching him and seeing what he needs from us, okay? We actually have already written something up, and it just needs to get rehashed and put it in the package that he could use for submitting for a project, okay?
Is this city property?
It is, yep, it is. That's one of the reasons why we got off the lakefront, is because it wasn't city property, so you just couldn't do any elevating of anything, because on the lakefront airport, we were located right at on the landing strip, essentially at that airspace, so you couldn't elevate anything up.
Right.
So, yeah, and plus the city didn't own the property, so we own all of it. Yeah. So that's what we're asking for this year.
All right. Any questions?
Just curiosity, is there any advantage to this location for your operation?
There is, and so, ideally, we would want everything in one spot, right? But the way it happened after Hurricane Katrina, there just was no way. And so the lakefront, we have a hangar at the lakefront airport. And so the lakefront airport to the warehouse is 3 minutes. So, and it's within levee wall protection. So it's really the ideal place, right? Right at that corner, so of Dowman and Hayne Boulevard. So that's why. Plus it's zoned, right? Where if you have any kind of pesticides, things like that, it's zoned appropriately. Yeah.
Great.
That's the deal.
Okay,
All right.
we're done.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
All
much.
right, thanks so much. I appreciate everybody's help and support.